Could David wake up? We have an episode to do.
Oh my gosh. What time is it?
It's 5 to 5.
It's Friday.
And that can mean only one thing.
Well, I'm awake.
I'm glad that you're finally awake and get yourself out of the most comfortable bed at the Slate.
And you notice anything?
Ta-da!
And also, thank you for changing shirt because I start to, smell something.
No, the production crew pointed out that I was wearing the same shirt for episode 1 and 2.
Ooh.
And I just wanted to prove that I do have a wardrobe and I'm wearing a different shirt planned for each week. Now, we've got 7 weeks of 5 to 5, and in each week we're asking a question for our winner weekend, and also we have a special guest in the hot seat. But this week we're talking about accommodation. How many rooms do we have at the Slate, Kungam?
We have 208 suites and villa. We have the standard room of 56 square meter. It's per bed suite.
Okay, so Pearl Bed would be our entry-level accommodation for events.
Yes.
And we're putting that on screen now so that you can see the Pearl Bed and the size of the room.
The size of the room is 56 square meter.
Right. Next accommodation choice.
It's the Book Family Suite. There are 42 rooms of this room type and the size is 70. Do I have to say the size for every room or not necessary? Yeah. Okay. It's the Book Family Suite. There are 42 suites of this room type and the size of the room is 76 square meter.
And we've got more.
We got more. We have private pool suite for the winning prize. You see, it's a very top luxurious category. Private pool suite, 35 rooms, 112 square meter with a plunge pool and a patio outside of the room.
And the nice thing about all our accommodation, we've got more to mention, is that we're not squeezed into a little block and plot of land. We're covering 25 acres of landscape gardens, and the accommodation is spread throughout the landscape. So you never feel as though you're on top of other guests. It's really enjoyable, relaxing, and serene when you stay at the Slate.
Exactly. Do you know how many buildings we have in the 25 acres?
Now you're asking me that live. I should know that, and I don't know that. How many?
Could you ask me?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, you asked me how many buildings across the 25 acres.
Okay, so here goes, folks. How many buildings do we have across 25 acres?
There are 17 buildings,
Really?
A to Q.
A to Q.
Yes, that's why you can imagine that it's quite spread out in the 25 acres. So, it's a landscape and the buildings, 3 outdoor swimming pools.
Perfect for events, perfect for families, and perfect for stylish getaways.
Yes.
So, any other accommodation we need to mention?
Yes, apart from the 3 standard room, we have like presidential suite, starting from the 1-bedroom Pearl Shell suite, which is a designer Pearl Shell suite. The 4 of the 1-bedroom and the 2 of the 2-bedroom are all decorated and designed differently. Yes, into the different theme, for example, the botanical foliage and the floral foliage. So that can imagine of the pink furniture and the green furniture.
And you have your own private pool.
Yes, we do have private pool villa, and we have 5 of the 1-bedroom pool villa, and the size of the villa is 650 square meter. 2-bedroom family pool villa providing 850 square meter, and there is only 1 unit of that villa. And the last unit in the hotel is that 2-bedroom pool villa. The size is 1050 square meter, and there is only 1 villa for you to enjoy the relaxation in the hotel.
That's a lot of accommodation choices. So for events, the ideal group size would be 100 rooms?
100 room is easy. I mean, like we can control by room allocation to make sure that everyone's like near each other, because there's so many buildings that we can play around and allocate the group with.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. You know, we're not claiming to be a monstrous convention hotel. That's not the Slate. But we're intimate, we're stylish, we're designer. And I think for a group of 100 rooms is perfect in terms of accommodation, dining options, meeting spaces. So it really is that sweet spot. But even if you've got a meeting of 10 people, this would be a great option for them, wouldn't it?
Yes, they can choose whether, you know, some of the VIPs that they need a special treat. There are many of rooms that you can put them in and enjoy the hotel when, you know, the conference going on in the hotel.
Great. At this point, I'd like us to go over to the hot seat and meet our special guest this weekend. Let's go over to the hot seat.
So I'm Zach from the Junkyard Theatre. The Junkyard Theatre was a project we started in the midst of COVID when the island was completely dead. There were no tourists here. All the performance teams that we knew around the island were out of work, and we wanted to create this initiative to band everyone together and create a place where we could still perform to the locals that were still here and the community that was still in Phuket. And what we did was try to do it in a little bit of a different way. Phuket's had the really established venues, the Phuket Fantasies, the Simon Cabarets, which are, you know, great for what they do, but they don't really push the envelope very much. And what we wanted to do was create a new type of cultural show, a kind of show that we felt more connection to. A lot of the expats here felt more connection to as well. And what we do is we take Phuket, some of the scenes or the things you might find on the island in the streets or on the beaches, and we parody it. We satirically take it, we twist it up, turn it into a song and dance routine, and absolutely blow the socks off our patrons. They are giggling and laughing, enjoying themselves, because they've, honestly, what we put on stage you haven't seen anywhere else in the world. The name Junkyard Theatre really comes from the fact that we recycle everything in the show. All the set pieces, all the props are actually recycled from objects that we found around the island and recycled and upcycled. And what's interesting about the theater space is there's actually two spaces. There's our factory, which is running during the day, and then by night it transforms into a theater. So we actually build all of the set pieces, all of the props that you see on stage on the factory floor underneath the theater, and then it comes alive by night. We have a cast of about 15 Thai performers and dancers, and a small motley crew of Farangs or expats we found on the island that have special skills that we want to bring to the stage. We have elements of cabaret, elements of burlesque, drag, street dance, hip hop, comedy skits. It's probably a fusion. Imagine Monty Python went on holiday in Phuket and it was a song and dance musical. Book ahead, it's a dinner and show. We have a 3-course dinner that's served with the performance. It starts from about 7:30 and runs till 10. So we do a kind of Thai tapas selections of food and Thai set menu that's served along with the show. The Junkyard Show is truly a parody of Phuket. It's Phuket as you've never seen it before, but you'll recognize every element here. Junkyardtheatre.com. Yeah.
Thank you to our special guest for sharing their views and information this week. And I think, any more news on accommodation?
Apart from we are refurbishing the hotel throughout the year to keep it fresh, to keep it new and ready to accommodate your group at the hotel.
Yeah, there's ongoing maintenance constantly and refurbishment programs to ensure that we stay tip-top. We're a member of Design Hotels as well, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So stylish stays, great accommodation, 25 acres of landscape tropical gardens, and an approach to sustainability as well and reconnection with nature. I saw a lot of nature yesterday in the gardens.
Yes.
Yeah. And now it's time for you to win a prize. It's that winner weekend time.
Yeah.
So let's go over to our quiz. The question this week in our Winner Weekend quiz is, What is the size of the private pool suite? That's the suite that you could be staying in if you win a weekend at the Slate. Is the private pool suite 100 square metres, 102 square metres, 112 square metres, or 120 square metres? Don't forget to post your answer in the comment box below, whether you're looking at this video on YouTube, watching us on LinkedIn or Facebook. Please join in the quiz, answer all 7 questions correctly over the 7 weeks, and you could be in it to win it for our Weekend for 2 prize at the Slate. Well, I think that rounds it up for the accommodation, doesn't it?
Yes.
And there's only one thing to do.
One thing to do is snoring again.
I need a rest after this episode. But I'll tell you what, the bedding that we have in the rooms is sensational. The guests, if you go on social media and feedback, give rave reviews about our pillows and the bed linen, and it really is super. You get a good night's sleep, and I think that's sometimes often overlooked when you talk about accommodation. You talk about the space of the room and the amenities, but you never actually think about the mattress and the bedding, and the pillows are great.
Yes.
And if as guests fall in love with our bedding, they can actually buy that, can't they?
It's actually the top selling products that, at the stock room.
Wow. So we have stockroom, which is like an objet d'art and items that you can buy from the hotel.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that the linen and the pillows was our top seller.
Pillows, bed sheets, pillowcase, they are all like on the top drawer that we need to fill up.
Well, there you are. So I wish you all a wonderful sleep this weekend. And if you have any trouble sleeping, jump on a flight and come to the Slate. And we look forward to seeing you next week for another episode of 525. See you then.